Ever wish you could just walk into any room and instantly connect with people? Or, effortlessly get them to see things your way? Well, in this explainer, we are unlocking the timeless secrets to doing just that. We're doing a full breakdown of Dale Carnegie's legendary 1937 bestseller, How to Win Friends and Influence People.
It's the core idea behind Dale Carnegie's entire philosophy. And look, this isn't about manipulation or tricks. It's about learning the secrets to having more effective, more fulfilling, and more successful interactions in pretty much every part of your life.
John D. Rockefeller, one of the richest people in history, once said he'd pay more for the ability to deal with people than for any other skill on earth. Why? Well, because research has shown that a whopping 85% of your financial success comes down to something called human engineering, which is really just a fancy way of saying your people skills. Now, here's the coolest part. These principles aren't just some theories that somebody dreamed up. Nope, they were developed over decades, tested, refined through the actual real-world experiences of thousands and thousands of adults in Carnegie's courses. So this is practical, it's battle-tested wisdom that actually gets results. Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to break down Carnegie's wisdom into 4 key parts. Building that solid foundation, making people genuinely like you, winning them over to your side, and of course, leading with real influence. Oh, and you're going to want to stick around to the end, because we'll talk about the single most important step you can take to put all this into action, like right away.
All right, let's start with the bedrock, the absolute essentials. Part 1 covers the 3 fundamental techniques for handling people. If you can get these down, you're going to have an unbreakable foundation for everything else we talk about.
Carnegie is crystal clear on this one. Criticism is pointless. It's totally futile. And why is that? Well, because it immediately puts people on the defensive. It wounds their pride, which is a huge deal, and it only stirs up resentment. It never, ever creates lasting change. It just creates conflict.
And get this for a second. Carnegie points out that even the most notorious criminals, guys like Al Capone or Two Gun Crowley, they never blamed themselves. They saw themselves as public benefactors, misunderstood heroes. They justified every single thing they did. Now, if that's true for them, what does that tell you about the everyday people you and I deal with? The takeaway is simple. Criticism is a complete dead end.
So, if criticism is out, what's in? Well, that brings us to rule number 2. Give honest and sincere appreciation. Carnegie says this taps into the deepest principle of human nature, what he calls a gnawing and unfaltering human hunger. Now, let's be clear, this is not about cheap flattery. That stuff is toxic. This is about genuine, heartfelt recognition, and it's something people are absolutely starving for.
Okay, this right here is the secret sauce of influence. Carnegie's analogy is just perfect. He says, when you go fishing, you don't bait the hook with what you love, right? Like strawberries and cream. No, you use what the fish wants, a worm. It is exactly the same with people. The only way to influence anybody is to stop talking about what you want and instead figure out what they want and show them how to get it. All right, so you've stopped criticizing, you've started appreciating. Now, how do you build on that and get people to actually genuinely like you? That's what part 2 is all about. These 6 principles are so simple, but man, are they powerful.
Now, these lists might look like common sense, but the real power is in actually doing it. Just think about rule number 3. Remember their name. There was this political powerhouse named Jim Farley who said his success was because he could remember the first names of 50,000 people. 50,000! He showed people he saw them, he valued them. To any person, their own name is the sweetest and most important sound in any language. It's that simple magic of a smile, of really listening, of making someone feel like they matter.
Okay, so now people like you. That's a great start. But how do you take it to the next level and actually persuade them? Part 3 gets into the subtle art of winning people over to your way of thinking without starting a fight or causing any resentment.
The very first step in persuasion is just learning how to handle disagreement. Abraham Lincoln learned this the hard way. After the Battle of Gettysburg, he was so mad at his general for letting the enemy army escape that he wrote this blistering, angry letter. But he never sent it. He knew that a stinging criticism wouldn't solve anything, it would just create bitterness. The only way to get the best of an argument
is to avoid it altogether.
This old saying pretty much sums up the next principle perfectly. Always begin in a friendly way. If you can get the other person saying yes, yes, right from the get-go, you create this psychological momentum that's almost impossible to stop. It's about finding common ground and building on it, not digging trenches for a battle.
Honestly, the rest of the rules in this section all boil down to one simple but really powerful idea. Get out of your own head and into theirs. Let them do most of the talking. Help them feel like that brilliant idea was actually theirs all along. And most importantly, make a real, honest-to-goodness effort to see things from their point of view.
All right, let's switch gears and talk about leadership. Part 4 is basically your playbook for changing people's attitudes and behaviors without causing offense or making them rebel. And this is for anybody, whether you're managing a team, a family, or you just want to be a more positive influence.
Okay, check this out. One tiny little word can change absolutely everything. When you say "but" right after you give praise, you basically just canceled out everything you said before it. Hey, we're really proud of you, but all they hear is, here comes the criticism. But if you just change that one word, the "and," we're proud of you, and if you keep up your efforts, suddenly it becomes a bridge to constructive feedback. It's a game changer.
And here are the other essential tools for your leadership toolkit. Don't bark orders. Ask questions. Don't shame people. Let them save face. Praise every single little improvement, no matter how small it seems. And this one's huge. Give them a great reputation to live up to. You will be blown away by how hard people will work to prove you right. So, we have covered a ton of ground, and I know it can feel a little overwhelming. But look, information is totally useless without action. So what's your first step? It is not to try and master all 30 of these principles by tomorrow. It's just to pick one.
Carnegie saw this happen over and over again in his classes. A manager who turned a hostile team into a loyal one. Salespeople who completely shattered their records. Families that just became happier and more connected. Applying even one of these ideas, but doing it consistently, can spark a massive change in your life.
So, I'm asking you, what's it going to be? Will you make a real effort to remember someone's name today? Will you decide to just walk away from that pointless argument you know is coming? Or will you find a reason to give someone some genuine, sincere appreciation? The choice is yours, and that single choice is how the revolution in your relationships begins.